Welcome to Two Women in Crypto, a weekly podcast birthed on a whim by two women who are excited about the cryptocurrency landscape and have a shared passion about empowering others to step into the digital, tokenized world of the future. We offer tips, tricks, and our own individual insights as to how to begin to navigate this shift. We are not financial advisors nor experts. We are just here to encourage you to look at the possibilities. So welcome to the future. You're right on time. Good afternoon. We're changing it up a little bit. Good evening, actually. Good evening. Good evening, as Hitchcock, right? Not Howard.
That's right, Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, I should know that. Anyway, how are you?
Good. I'm so excited to be here. I've been doing deep dives all week. And I am convinced that we are moving into a new financial system that's being leveraged on technology. Do you see that?
That's a really novel idea. Really novel. I think you're onto something, though. Tell me more. What have you discovered? What layers have you pulled back to get you to that conclusion?
I know, right?
Right?
It's really interesting when you could go back and watch like the history of Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, and go back and listen to how he talks about cryptocurrency, talks about Bitcoin, and now it's like, hey, we're filing a spot Bitcoin ETF, and he's starting to hit like mainstream news. He did an interview on Fox Business talking about how cryptocurrency is the new digital gold. And I'm like,
really?
Never listen to these folks, like never listen to mainstream media. You know what I mean? Because all of these years, it's like Gary Gensler said, hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists. The whole thing is a Ponzi scheme. And now we're going to have like filing after filing after filing for the spot Bitcoin ETF that is going to be not only custodied, well, BlackRock spot ETF is going to be custodied by Coinbase, but then they did one even further and said Coinbase, their tech will surveil our spot ETF.
Coinbase is the winner chicken dinner here in the United States for sure.
They are a chosen one. So I mean, it is super obvious. I would go back, look at the price of Coinbase when they IPO'd and became a public company. Look at the price now. And look at the future of Coinbase moving forward. We are not financial advisors. This isn't for financial advice, but it's really interesting to just watch and see like this ecosystem kind of builds until it blooms, And
I think we talked about it last podcast. Coinbase is the only one that doesn't have its own coin. Yeah. Like it's the only one, but BNB has its own coin. Voyager had its own coin. Celsius had its,
FTX had its own coin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Uphold does not have its own coin.
Yep, there you go.
Another chosen one, but they're not based in the United States, even though most of their customers live in the United States.
Right. Because again, being not financial advisors here by any stretch of the imagination, that is one of the only places that you can get XRP if you live in the United States.
That is right. So if you want XRP, you got to go to Uphold if you're not using decentralized exchanges.
Yes, that is correct. Yep.
Correctamundo. The other thing we should probably touch on too is just, with Voyager and Celsius, now's the time, whatever money you have on there, you're going to, obviously everyone is taking a significant hit. Transfer all your coins off of Voyager and Celsius. Celsius may or may not be open, but if they're not, they're opening very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just have been working with the remainder of those folks that in my sphere over here that had Voyager accounts that couldn't get off some coins, like Matic you could not move, or was it Matic you couldn't move, and you couldn't move the Voyager token, of course, but you know, a little bit of dollar is better than nothing. So, I mean, it is what it is. So anyway, yep, definitely do that. And I don't know about you, but my transfers finally went through. I had a few coins on there.
Okay. I only had $8 of earnings.
I had 50
Uh,
worth.
okay. So mine still has not cleared. I know people are going on day 7, day 8, just hang in there. They will clear. They will hit your account.
Yep, absolutely. It's better than nothing, folks. So
yeah. So, I want to go back in time a little bit because I think a couple of podcasts ago, I was talking about Ripple and XRP. Obviously, these ISO, 20022 tokens are in the process of going live. We know the FedNow app is going live sometime July 20th-ish, kind of a situation. But, I was thinking about the podcast we did a couple weeks ago for adoption with XRP. We had Ripple purchase like Galaxy Digital shares of Bitstamp, which is the 6th largest cryptocurrency exchange. Then they went ahead and bought Metaco, which provides custody, right, for our digital assets. And we know that Ripple wants to IPO and go public after the lawsuit is over. They're doing the automated market makers on the XRP ledger. And I just wanted to add now, like, this is just so recent, right? And now I saw something earlier today that the XRP ledger is the first blockchain to offer a stable coin for mortgages, and it's called Home, and that is being built on the XRP ledger.
Sweet. I had not heard that. That's pretty cool.
Kind of like XRP ledger just made history.
Yeah, that's
right. Pretty freaking cool. And then on top of that, we have Arrington Capital, right, which is a hedge fund investment company that was created in 2017. And basically they're working with like all startups and things like that. They just applied for an XRP fund with the SEC.
Well, there you go.
So it's called Arrington XRP, and it's just like a subsidiary of Arrington Capital. And there's one thing, they could be like trying to front run people, right? Because we don't know, right? No one knows for sure how they're going to classify XRP. So they're either trying to be first in line or they know something, right? So, and again, if I always think about XRP already being declared a currency in, almost every single country besides the United States.
Yeah.
So to me, I just feel like it's just a matter of time, and when I look at the adoption after adoption after adoption, it's hard not to get really, really excited.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know that you've been with XRP in the XRP army, so to speak, for a long time.
Yep. So, I mean, what do we have? Weeks, maybe a month? But this lawsuit is coming to an end. And the significance of the SEC losing in terms of XRP's like clarification, whether it's a commodity, a currency, a security, whatever it is so big right now within the cryptocurrency community. So we really want to root for XRP being that digital commodity, utility, anything but a security. And even if it is a security, it'll take a hit, but it's, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, already said, hey, look, 95% of our business is outside the United States. Right. And when I look at the adoption, right, with Bitcoin and with XRP and Stellar, and we talk about Ethereum, we talk about Matic, we talk about all of these coins, I saw some interesting world statistics today.
Oh boy, you statistician. All right, what'd you find out?
4.5% of all the people in the world own cryptocurrency. Are we early or what?
I would say we're a tad early. And then what percentage of that 4.5 are women? Let's dive a little bit deeper, do you think?
So it was higher than people actually thought,
Okay.
but obviously it's mostly men. So women, we're two women in crypto, like
Get on the horse. Here we go.
yeah, share, because the bottom line is this: whether you understand cryptocurrency, whether you understand Bitcoin, at this point of the game, we are moving to a new digital economy that's not just going to be the central bank digital currency. We have Augustin Carstens, the president dude, right, of the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements. He was like, cryptocurrency is going to be a part of this. By 2025, institutions, companies can invest 5% of their holdings into cryptocurrency, right? Then we have BlackRock, Fidelity, like you name the company, every single company around the world, every bank is going to hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe XRP, maybe Stellar. We don't know, but we do know that we are moving closer and closer to mass adoption.
Absolutely. And I think the beautiful thing in all of that is that we're going to have options. There's lots of options within which you can participate. And so you look at it and find the highest vibration of all of it to participate in. I mean, because, it's the technology isn't here to just force us into one thought process. We have a whole rainbow of things to look at. So, which is really important for us to understand. It's not one thing.
Yep. And again, it's like I look at, here we are, we're recording this on July 6th. And then in April 2024, we have Bitcoin halving, we have stable coin legislation that, I mean, they're really pushing this bill to be signed by the end of the year. And then we have regulatory framework for digital assets, hopefully going to be also passed within that, time frame, if not the beginning of 2024. And all of those components are leading us into the next bull cycle with mass adoption never seen in the history of the world. I mean, that's just a fact.
Right.
Not hyperbole. We've never seen anything like this happen.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Fast. It's going to be fast.
Fast.
When we get to that point, it'll seem fast. It's been happening for a while, but it's going to seem very fast.
Yeah. So again, like Kelly and I always say, it's like, it's not financial advice, but like we're encouraging you to do the research. And if you feel called to do so, we recommend dollar cost averaging slowly into some of your favorite projects.
And so that means taking your coffee money and maybe once a week putting it towards a project. And you can do it automatically, no thinking, very simple. And it's not painful when you do it that way. Because I mean, when I say the pain point, it's not like you have to have $100, $500, $1,000. You can do it with $20 a week. Super simple.
That's it. And again, it's just, and like we are going to see like the next, internet boom, which is basically what blockchain technology is building an additional layer on top of the internet. And again, it's like the ability to transfer value, just like we send an email, it's a revolution.
Yep.
And I haven't really felt so bullish, I'm just so super excited.
Yeah.
And I do also want to mention, I know you couldn't use Qcoin, right? Because I think I was kind of grandfathered in.
Right. You were grandfathered in.
Okay. So I actually, I have Arweave, or I had Arweave on Qcoin. If anyone has a Qcoin account, starting July 15th, you're going to have to KYC, know your customer, just like Coinbase and Uphold. So what I'm recommending is if you have any tokens left on Qcoin, get them off. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous. They didn't know my password, right? I just have everything written down. I'm meticulous about this stuff. 3 days to reset my account because, it's one of the downsides of of working on a decentralized exchange. No one is there to help you. If there is something wrong, you're out of luck. So I stuck with it. I kept resetting my account, and hallelujah, I got in, created RConnect is the wallet, because I think that's the only wallet right now for Arweave, that decentralized storage coin that I did a whole podcast on. Kelly and I talked about Arweave and Filecoin and Jasmy, and boom, was able to transfer it, to my wallet. So I felt really good about it.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have coins on KuCoin, just transfer them off to your hardware wallet. If you have Arweave, RConnect, super easy to set up.
Very cool.
Yeah, super cool. So, I was thinking about one day I'm gonna have to like start, both of us, we're gonna have to get like little popcorn things so we can eat popcorn during our podcast, right?
I know, right? There you go. Well, there you go. You'll have that to look forward one of these days. But yeah, so many things.
So it kind of looks like, I don't know how much longer the SEC is going to be able to get, keep doing what they're doing with litigation by enforcement. But it looks like all the DeFi projects are just going to be on the chopping block next. So I really want to keep an eye out on this. I don't know if they're going to go after Ethereum, right? Because Ethereum went from proof of work blockchain, like what Bitcoin was built on, and converted to a proof of stake. So now, is Ethereum a security? And heck, after I listened to Vitalik Buterin speak this week, is it even secure? Did you see that Vitalik Buterin does not stake? He only stakes a small portion of his ETH on the blockchain because of security reasons.
I did not. Well, I had heard it. I did not read the specifics, but I read snippets about it over Twitter or whatever it was that I was on. But yeah, that makes you curious, doesn't it? But
yeah,
but just in general, if you think of all the ERC20 tokens, that's a tad bit worrisome.
a little bit, Kelly.
Yeah, you think?
So maybe when we stake our tokens, let's not stake all of them on the blockchain.
Yeah. Or right now, I just don't even know if right now is a good time to stake. Personally, that's just my opinion. I just think right now I'd rather just hold on to everything in my wallet until some of this stuff gets out of the way.
Yeah, I think that's the smartest thing to do right now. And with that said, I do stake. I'm not gonna lie. I stake my Cardano, like I just, I'm like looking into like some of like their ecosystem. I think I talked about last week about neobanks, which are like new banks that are going to be built on the blockchain. And maybe I'll do a deep dive next week into Meld, which is partnered with Ethereum and Avalanche. It's not just Cardano, but Meld Fi is Meld Finance, where we could do savings and loan. And I'm looking at this ecosystem, and it's just, I feel really good about it, super positive. I'll be watching it. Sometimes, it's not a lot of money, but I like to get familiar with some of these decentralized financial systems, because that is the future of finance. Larry Fink is telling us this is the future of finance. So if we're in early and we diversify within the Ethereum ecosystem, the Cardano ecosystem, pick your favorite ones, some of them should do really, really well.
Yep. No, I
so
agree.
I think that could be a fun deep dive into DeFi. Yeah.
So,
and in the meantime, let's watch the SEC go after DeFi, right? So we'll see what happens. But, I saw something really interesting I wanted to talk about a little bit, Kel, with digital ID.
Yeah, I think I saw that post. I haven't done a deep dive into it, but I think I know where you're going, but go ahead. I can't. Yeah.
So Los Angeles Airport, LAX, they've been working on their facial recognition technology at the airport for a number of years now. This isn't anything new. We all know this is going to happen. Anyone who's been with us or who's in cryptocurrency or maybe works in like a large city, they're probably already doing some sort of biometric scanning of your iris or your face to even get into a building.
Sure. Yeah.
But the interesting thing about that article that I was reading, or no, it wasn't the article, it was the woman. I saw a woman make a video while she was in the Los Angeles airport. It is not an opt-out. You cannot opt out of facial recognition to get on the plane in LAX.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, that's, and it's not the international terminal, it's the entire, interesting. Huh.
Right? So change happens really slowly and then all at once.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'd like to think that they would say, by the way, this is gonna happen versus you're traveling tomorrow, guess what, type thing, or now.
Right. You want to rent a car or you want to fly?
It'd be ideal, but I guess I'm still at that point. I'm not surprised. And I would be interested to know what other airports are already doing that as well. Is it just LA? Anyway, very interesting.
Things usually start with California first.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's crazy. It's very true though. Yep.
So, Cal, I was thinking, it's just like, because, I don't want to have a digital ID. I don't want to facial recognize, for everybody, and if I do have to do it, I want a decentralized ID. But then I was thinking, it's just like, well, what if I want a driver's license? What if I need medical care?
Right.
Am I going to be denied entering into a hospital because I refuse a digital ID, right? I could give up my driver's license. I could ride my electric bike, right? There are certain things we can do to get around things if we're that committed to not going down, that path. But then I'm just like, well, what if, when I look at the amount of crime, right? You live in Portland, you see what's going on. And we know that they're going to facially recognize the folks in Portland and everywhere to get into stores. So what if I have to go buy my groceries, right? Because crime is so high, we need a digital ID for safety. How about access to the internet? Without a digital ID, will I have access to the internet? And I just want to bring that to everyone's attention, because with the FedNow app going live, sometime before the end of the month, how long do we really have until they are like, we need a central bank digital currency, everybody download your app, scan your face in order to have access to your money.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that this process of actually pulling everything to complete mainstream will take a while, and therefore there will be other options along the way. But we've talked about it in the past. We know that ultimately we're going to have to participate to some degree, somehow, some ways, through a number of reasons. We'll be participating, but we want to continue to see other options. So let's hope it's not going to be the flip of a switch.
Right. Because like the majority of us are not going to go and live on a farm and give up our modern ways of life. And I'm telling you, if I had to do it and grow my own food, it's not looking good. I mean, my cucumbers turned yellow from all of the rain, and then it stopped raining. My basil's like, like, so I just think that the best thing that we can do is stop it from happening. Oh, but then I was watching this other video, like people like us in Cleveland with the microphone asking people, like regular people, if you had a choice, I'll give you $100. Would you rather have $100 bill, or would you rather have one Bitcoin? The majority of people want the $100. They don't even know how much Bitcoin is worth. And I know for us, it's hard to imagine, but most people don't know what cryptocurrency is.
Right. No, I completely agree with that. And most people don't want to lean into things that are foreign and or scratchy or uncomfortable to wrap their mind around, because then they have to think. No offense. I mean, we've been conditioned not to think for ourselves, truly.
Right.
It's not, there's not a judgment on any stretch of it at all. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked. I'm shocked, but at the same point, I'm not surprised. But yeah.
I mean, I think it's shocking for us because like we're in this every day, right? Like for me, I'm in it like way too much, right? 24/7 basically. But like, yeah, I mean, the majority of the people are just like, why would I have one Bitcoin when I can have $100 bill? I mean, that was literally the answer. And most people just, are just like, I don't know that much about Bitcoin. I don't trust it. And again, it's just like, this is why we show up, right? Because we want people get out of your comfort zone and do some research, because this is the new financial economy. I mean,
absolutely. And there's aspects of it that are super, super, super high vibrational. I mean, it all depends on how we want to go into it. We can look at it as a like despairing. It's like, oh my gosh, there's such desperation out there, but it's not that at all, honestly. I mean, there's aspects of it anyway. So yeah, absolutely. It's exciting. I mean, we say it every podcast. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah, it's very exciting and it's very uncertain and it's very speculative. Like when I hear Vitalik Buterin say, I only stake a portion of my ETH because of security reasons, folks, we're in a speculative market.
And I'm wondering for him, what is his security reasons? Are his security reasons the security of the coin or the security of his wallets? Could be a multitude of things. It could be anyway, because he's got to be bankrolling a large amount. So I wonder what his security concerns are.
Well, I would think it's staking.
Yeah, or more than anyway, that's interesting. I don't know. For some reason there could be more there too.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
They pay him to think that way, not like me.
Yeah. But at the same time, like when my computer went down, and now, Mary Berger from Computer Diva, totally reach out to her if you need anything. But like when she was working on my computer, I shot her over like a little bit of Stellar and we were like giddy because exactly what you were saying, like that energy is so different. There's something about peer-to-peer electronic transactions, and it's kind of like a good experiment to be like, okay, Mary, I'm sending you Stellar. Check your account. And she's like, it's there.
Yeah.
Are you going to use Bitcoin or Ethereum, or are you going to use XRP or Stellar for peer-to-peer transactions?
Just
boom.
like
yeah. Fraction of a penny. I mean, it's just exciting. I love it. I love it.
It is.
So, I'm still thinking, especially after Larry Fink kind of talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency being digital gold. He didn't specifically say Bitcoin was digital gold. I found that because most people see Bitcoin as a store of value, as like a digital gold. And it kind of made me nervous. It made me actually want to go buy gold. That's how much I don't trust these people, right? Like, what if they're doing all of this for that one last dump before the ETF gets approved? So that's why we always say dollar cost average. We don't know if, like, when Bitcoin went down and it hit 15 and change, was that the bottom, or are we going to see one more hard dump, which is very possible.
It is very, and I think if you just look at the whole landscape with over 20,000 projects out there, there's going to have to be a clearing of the table at some point in time. And it's going to be, it's going to have to happen soon, because not all the projects are going to survive, for sure. So, and then another dump would push a majority of those projects out.
Exactly. And I kind of feel that way too, because I really thought we were going to go into the next bull cycle with a majority of the crypto projects going to zero.
Yeah. And I still feel that way.
Yeah. And it hasn't happened. Yeah. So, and at the same time, I think between the next 2 to 4 years, we are going to see who the winners are, the chosen ones, right? Like, I think it's safe to say Coinbase, you know, as an exchange, but with these, with the new standardization of the ISO, you know, 20022 tokens that are going live, you know, you think about XRP, you think about Stellar, Algorand, IOTA, Quant, Hedera Hashgraph is a good one. Cardano is another good one. Like, just look into some of these projects and look and see their partnerships and the problems that they're solving, right? Because that's going to be another way that like some of these projects are going to go away, because they don't solve anything. It's just more, you know, of like maybe like a fun project or a pump and dump scheme, right? Because there's still that. Yeah, so I'm just so super interested to see who the winners and losers are.
It'll be interesting. I don't think we'll really know things for another few years, who the real winners and losers are, but we know quite a few of them already, I think, which you've just mentioned most of them. So
yeah, I've been really loving on some quant lately, you know, just I think that quant is going to connect all these systems for the central bank digital currency. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. You know, just listening to people speak at like the BIS like yearly conference, and how their attitudes have just changed around cryptocurrency. Like, they had an epiphany.
right. Huh. Surprise.
Yeah.
And don't we have some big meetings coming up next week?
Big what?
Meetings like the FOMC. Is there?
I think so. I think, yeah, is inflation numbers coming out?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank, increasing interest rates another 0.25%. I'm interested to see if he's going to do it, because I don't think anyone believes that he's actually going to do it. And at the same time, when I was listening to Larry Fink, because it's such a good reminder, he said the United States has 4,100 banks. We have more banks than anyone else. And I think we mentioned this last week. Moving forward, we're not going to need as many banks. We have new banks, an open banking system, these neo banks, right? Maybe Ripple will become a bank.
No.
Bank applications being built on top of the blockchain makes sense for security, right? And for peer-to-peer transactions, right? Venmo and Zelle and PayPal is not a blockchain.
Right.
So, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see like how we're going to be moving forward. And if he does keep raising interest rates, we got to go back and remember back in 2020, when the government told us to stay home and don't worry about anything, everything's going to be okay, just watch Netflix. They gave the banks free money, and now the banks got to pay back those loans at 5.5%. They don't have the money because back in 2020, they, you know, Federal Reserve Bank was like, no reserves. You don't have to hold any reserves at the banks, which is why we're seeing, you know, those bank runs happen. And I don't think that this is over, right? Because in order to centralize things, we need to consolidate. So
A lot of the small ones are going to have to go away.
right. And the smaller banks and maybe some of the credit unions and yeah.
Yep. Just can't. But
oh, be careful. Keep some cash in the house. Some cash in the house. Yeah, it's like Rowan works for an international company, and we heard that our boss, the owner of the company, didn't have internet in London for 3 days. So we've been trying to like do some research. It just looks like a portion of the country didn't have internet. Was it like a full-blown thing? I don't know details. It's so hard. There's no information about it.
Those that I know that are in the UK all have internet. It was maybe specific to London.
Yeah, I think maybe it was because like someone had sent me an article. It was like 63% of people in London for a couple of days, and she's back online today. But again, it's just like, it's not something to worry about, but it's a good reminder. Keep some cash in the house, keep some food and extra water. just in case something like this happens, right? Because if like the BIS and the Federal Reserve Bank and the IMF and the WEF, right? If they're all like, hey, people don't want this digital ID, so let's do a cyber attack, maybe Russia will do it. And then everyone go to a digital ID for security.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, when it happens.
Right.
But if you think about just the fact that none of us can really exist without our phones, that in of itself, we really don't function in the world without our phones. Our phones disappear and we come to a halt.
Correct. And I'm ready. I want to do another deep dive on privacy phones and decentralized phones as well. Because, if you're walking around with your iPhone or your Google Android, those are really awesome choke points. And most people have those phones in America. So, yeah, I use my Above phone. It's got its pros and its cons, but I love having that privacy component running on graphene operating system. That is not Google. That is not Apple.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
We'll find out.
We're going to find out. I think that's all I have.
We will find out. Well, it's dark there. So thank you for being with us. We're having we're playing with our time frames and in which we are recording. So, but yeah, it's dark out there in the Florida coast.
It's been super hot. And yep, next week we'll be filming from an undisclosed location. So we'll see where I am. Yep.
Going to be where is Andrea? Not where's Waldo. Where's Andrea and Rowan?
Yeah, right. I love it. All right. So we'll recap and bring this back up next week. I wore my so for the next week, let's all stay human.
Yeah, let's try.
My shirt.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
All right. And we'll be HODL'on on. We'll be HODL'on on till next week.
Yep. Bye everybody. HODL'on.
Bye-bye. HODL'on.
Your hosts for Two Women in Crypto are Andrea Caldero and Kelly Lair. You'll find more information and details regarding the Two Women in Crypto membership, educational and informative class and event offerings, and more via their website, twowomenencrypto.com. Both Andrea and Kelly are available for speaking events and offer private consultations focused on helping individuals navigate the future. Until next time, HODL'on.